In this video, we're going to talk about how to make a scatter plot on your graphing calculator, and this is designed for a TI-83 or a TI-84. So make sure you have your graphing calculator out with you and ready to go. We'll be plotting the data that you see in the table on the left. So the first thing we need to do is we need to find our stat button on the calculator and push that stat button. You'll see that the screen changes. What you'll need to do is choose option number 1, the edit, because we're going to edit some statistics. And once you choose edit, then you're going to get a screen that looks similar to this. And what we need to do is you need to use your arrow keys, and you need to enter your data into L1 and L2. So you'll need to edit into L1 and L2. Arrow into this area, and you can type a number and hit enter. So we're going to type the number 2, enter, 3, enter. These are L1 is like my X's. L2 is like my Y's. So we're going to enter those all in. Give you a second to do that. You can always pause the video if you are not caught up. Once you get them all entered in L1 is X's, L2 is Y's, then what we need to do is hit the second key on our calculator and choose stat plot. The reason we're hitting the second key is we're trying to get the stat plot option, which is up here on the top. It's actually the y equals button, but we need stat plot. Once you do that, we'll come to this screen, and what we need to do is choose option 1. I need to make sure that it's turned on. But when we choose option number 1, just hit enter on it. Then we'll get the Scatterplot settings screen. We want to know what do we want. And we want to make sure this is on. And we truly want a scatter plot. Notice here that we can also make some line graphs or time plots. We can do histograms, box and whisker plots. And we do want to make sure this says L1 and L2 for X list and Y list. And I have the square selected. That just means when it plots points, they will look like squares. You can do pluses or dots if you'd like. But this is kind of my settings screen. Once we have that, then we're really close and ready to graph our data. So what I need to do to get my data to show up most easily on the screen is I'm going to hit the zoom key, and I'm going to choose option 9 from that menu. Zoom option 9. And the calculator will graph our data, our scatter plot, with the best viewing window. That's what the zoom 9 does, the best viewing window for my data. And we can just enjoy viewing the scatter plot, and there's my data. We could review a little bit by saying the form definitely looks linear. It's gradually increasing. The direction is positive. It's going up as time goes by. And the strength, I would call this quite strong. It's really quite linear. It looks like a line. Once you're finished with looking at your data set, examining your data, okay, some of the things you may want to try just to kind of learn a little bit more about the calculator is you could push the trace button right now. And I don't have any video to show this, but you push the trace button and then arrow around, and you'll be able to see the different points that you plotted. It will tell you what point you're looking at. That's one thing that is kind of neat to look at. And when you're finished with that, and when you're all done examining this data, and you're ready to clear out the information, what you want to do is you will want to get back to your data that you had typed in on the calculator. And the way you do that is the stat edit. Remember, this stat edit here is what we did to get to this screen where we entered our data. Once you do that, what you want to do is you want to make sure that you arrow all the way to the top. Let's say we're all done with our data. We want to arrow up here to L1. Make sure that it's highlighted on your calculator, and then push the clear button. Make sure you hit the clear button and hit enter, and that whole set of data will be gone. And once it is, you can go up here to L2, make sure that L2 would be highlighted, and then hit the clear button, enter, and that list will be cleared also.